Hello, I am Mayor Gil Egan.
And I'm Captain Stuart Benton. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to our beautiful island. It's pretty beautiful out here. We take pride on our lack of development because we like to keep our natives happy.
Yeah, it is really nice here. So I guess I just wanted to come and talk to you today. I am the captain for a cruise ship known as Island Queen Inc. I don't know if you're familiar with us at all. Okay. We are a pretty large company. Right now, we are basically just looking for new places to dock during the year, kind of give our customers a little bit more of an option, our passengers. Basically, the reason I decided to come and talk to you about your island is because we did some research and we looked into other islands in the area and noticed that we thought yours was the prettiest, the most opportunity for passengers.
That is because we do like to stray away from cruise ship liners entering our area. We do have other forms of transportation to get into the island and some tourists out there, but we have been keeping away from cruises because of the pollution they cause to our beautiful waters out here.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what other types of tour, like how are tourists getting to the island?
Just littler ships, and then like little vessels, and then some private planes.
Okay, so like you said about the pollution, recently actually we started working with, sorry, gotta find it in my notes here. We started working with International Maritime Organization. So that's basically an agency of the United Nations. We work with them and they set our standards for our pollution and all that stuff. So basically they set extremely strict standards for us, for all commercial vessels, passenger vessels. Basically they prevent ship generated pollution from like oil, garbage, waste. Yeah, and so basically they're only ratified by 90 nations. That's why a lot of people really haven't heard of them yet. But these standards are something that we always strive to follow, and we make sure to stick to those rules because we also don't want to be polluting your water, and we want you guys to be just as happy as we are. Obviously, with our ship line being fairly large, we can't guarantee that there will be no pollution, but of course, I mean, that's...
So you do meet all international standards?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That was one of my questions that I had for you.
Yeah, that is one of our guarantees, and then also, we basically, the only thing that is hard for us to prevent that I kind of wanted to talk to you about is the harm to the ecology of the like coral and stuff like that in your area. Because we are such a large ship, basically what we were hoping to do and what we have done in the past is not necessarily pull directly into your port. We would actually anchor the ship further out, and we would have a smaller ferry, like you said, like a smaller passenger ship.
That was our plan as well
Okay.
for you guys, because we do not have the ability to bring such a large ship that close to our island.
Yep.
So since we've talked about that already, just out of curiosity, did you have any of the issues with the sicknesses that happened a few years back?
Yes, we did. So basically, that's another reason why we were looking to expand and change where we were bringing our passengers. We were kind of trying to mix it up a little bit just because I know some of the islands that we previously visited, our passengers were complaining of sicknesses. I know that's not something that we can necessarily eliminate. Like, I can't guarantee to my passengers that they might go somewhere else that we take them and they might get sick, but that's why we were looking to expand where we were bringing passengers and change it just in the hopes that we could prevent that in the future, at least the sickness that we've been getting complaints about, because I know that a lot of passengers were unwilling to travel with us again because we are continuing to go to those same places.
One of the things we would ask of you in this situation is if you do stop at multiple islands, we would be the first ones, so we can make sure we don't get sicknesses from other islands.
Yep, that makes sense. So basically, I guess I can explain to you how we wanted to do it was kind of, it was let me see my timeline here quick, sorry. Okay, so basically our standard cruise lasts 16 days and 15 nights. The first 5 days is sailing to your region, 6 days visiting the islands in your region, and then it would be 5 days returning back to our home port. So basically what we could do for you is we could guarantee that you would be our 5th day stop, or our first stop on our 5th day, yes, correct. So
do you currently have any other islands that you're stopping at?
Right now we don't exactly know. We were kind of basing our trip on which island, or if you guys wanted to allow us to stop there as well, because obviously we're not going to go all the way to you if nobody, or if there's nobody else near you that we wanted to stop at. Yeah.
Okay. So, I did read that you guys can hold about 2,200 people on your boat. Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
It's actually 3,300. It's 2,200 passengers and yep, and then crew, obviously.
Yeah, we just want the passengers.
Yep.
So.
And then just in case that number scares you, just because I know your island is fairly small.
Yep. And we do want to keep the number down to keep the locals happy.
Yep. So basically, that's another thing I was going to bring up. Based on my data, how long that I've worked with this cruise line, we know that on average, a little under half of the passengers actually end up deporting or getting off the ship and visiting the island, because a lot of the people on the cruise ship are elderly or they have kids and they'd rather just stay at the pool or go use the casino or the facilities on board. So a lot of the time, so I'd say at a maximum it would be like 1,100 people leaving the ship.
What is the average age of the people that you think would visit the island actually?
We actually are mostly because we are a larger cruise line. It's more high end people. So I'd say like
people that are still working.
Yeah, it's there are some elderly, a lot of retirees. Otherwise, it's not. We aren't huge on necessarily families. Not a lot of children. It's mostly couples or like.
I did read they had gambling on the ship and everything.
Yep.
So. Okay. That's excellent. Okay, so I guess the 3 things that I really want to talk to you today are the number of passengers that we're going to allow on our island, the number of times during the year that you can come, and then how many days each trip will be.
Yep. Okay, so I guess there were a few things that I looked at in getting my numbers. So I wanted it to, of course, like for you guys to be happy, benefit you economically. So I noticed that you guys right now are losing native people living on your island just because there is not currently a college.
Yep.
So basically one thing that I thought maybe would, from us coming to your island, benefit you would be guaranteeing that, or if you could guarantee us at least 1 day a month, so 12 visits a year, stopping by, and let's say we did say all 1,100 passengers got off, so that's per day. I'm just an estimate. I mean, if that's 50% of our passengers, so that's bringing you guys like 80,000 tourists approximately a year. So I was just looking at like one stop for us. If let's say a couple gets off the boat and they just step onto your island and they spend $50 there. If every single couple that gets off the boat and spends $50, that's $55,000 for you guys to benefit your economy. Yes, that is on the higher end of passengers, so that's why I also looked at like lower numbers. Say we were only allowing around 500 a day. That's still $1,000 for you guys.
So currently we do only want to have 300 passengers a day,
Okay.
3 trips a year, and 1-day trips.
Okay.
We don't really need that much money coming in. We do enjoy the lack of buildings we do have on our island. We would like to get to a college someday, but right now we're just kind of worried about our ecosystem and everything like that.
Mhm.
We just are looking for other ways to stimulate our economy,
Yeah.
and going with that high of numbers is not really in our ballpark right now. I will let you know, I am the negotiator for this, but I do have 8 council members behind me who have to vote 50-50 on this.
Okay.
3 of them are currently all no's. It's pretty solid that they're going to be no's,
Mhm.
so it's going to be tough. We do have to get 4 out of those 5 to vote yes, so we do have to kind of lower that number of
Okay.
what you were speaking about before.
Okay, so basically another thought that I had was maybe proposing an agreement with you guys that we allowed only 100 people off the ship at a time
Okay.
in increments. So basically, if we did one stop and it lasted 2 days, I know you were saying minimal stops, like around 3, but if we did still kept, I mean, this is just hypothetical, still kept it at the once a month for 2 days a month. If we were only letting off 100 people at a time, that's still limiting the traffic and how many people are going onto the island.
Mhm.
And then at the same time, those people that are leaving the boat, if it's too late in the day, some of them might opt out of leaving or going on the ferry, because I know the ferry that we have right now, it can hold approximately 1,100 people at a time. And so we were thinking maybe we could use that for other benefits, like maybe taking people fishing or something too. So
Okay. Would you guys be able to come down on the number of visits? Because the number of visits is actually one of the biggest problems that we're having, because with such a large ship coming into our ecology, that really hurts our ecosystem.
yeah.
So I saw that you guys have an 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. schedule.
Yep.
So what we could do is do maybe a 2-day trip, but we do not have the infrastructure to house all the people overnight. So what I was thinking is maybe we have a 2-day trip, have a certain number of people come day 1, they go back at night. The next morning, a number of people come again, and then we would have to lower the trips. Since we are doing 2-day trips, we would have to lower the number of trips closer down to 4. Maybe.
Okay. Okay. So that's a good point. Otherwise, the other thing is, since I do have other islands like in the stop, that I was hoping for, we could do what you were saying, just having a limited amount of people leave the ship. So, what do you think of 8 visits, 1 day each?
How many people would you have out on the island?
I'm thinking 500.
500. I could. So what if we go 600 people?
Okay.
Go with a. You would want to do a 1-day trip then?
Yeah. So if the number that you just said, 600, I would be willing to do the 600, and then instead of doing the 8 visits, do 6. So it's basically visiting you guys once every 2 months.
So 8 visits, 6 trips, 1 day apiece.
Wait, what?
So 8 visits. Wow. No.
6 visits.
600 people. 6 visits.
Yeah. I know what you meant.
600 people.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that.
Nope, that's okay.
And then 1-day trips.
Yes.
Okay. That's actually very close to what we need to be.
And then, I just had another question pertaining to you were saying with your council and everything, how long have you been mayor?
I've been mayor about 2 years.
Okay, so basically before we talk about, or before we settle on anything, I just had, or out of curiosity, I know that you guys elect a mayor, it's 3 years, but a maximum of 2 terms, so
Yep.
6 years. So that's potentially the length of time that we were hoping to agree upon for the future. So
For 4 years or?
for 6.
Okay, yep, that is the law or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know.
I saw that in one of my bylaw binders that I was reading.
Yeah, me too.
So I guess that would, no matter what, we would have to probably keep the deal and lock for that amount of time.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that once,
Yep.
if you
Once I'm out of
office.
office. Nope, yep, that is one of the laws that you do have to keep these
Okay.
for 5 or 6 years. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I just wanted to, it's the same thing for me. I mean, I'm the negotiator for Island Cruise, but I do have other people that are wanting to get the information as well before we make a complete and final decision. I know it'll be the same for you since you guys have, or your council has to agree as well, so.
One question I did have for you
Mhm.
is where we would be parking the ship.
Mhm.
We mentioned out of our harbor, because every day that you guys travel with us, we cannot be swimming or fishing in this area due to pollution.
Mhm.
And then 4 days after you leave, we actually don't allow our natives to swim. So I wanted to keep you out of the harbor because that is our hotspot for fishing and swimming.
Yep.
So I was going to ask you, would you like to, if we make this deal, would you like to invest in maybe not building or like just making it some way easier to dock somewhere else on our island, just make it easier for you?
So that's something we were looking into. Basically, that area was the reason we were most interested in it is because it's already prepared for like our ferry to pull into after. So I guess that's definitely something we could look into. I know anchoring, we can anchor miles out from your island because that
Okay.
ferry is what is going to be bringing our
Yep.
passengers in. So that isn't really a big issue. I know your island is fairly small, I mean, but you do have a fairly large reef on the one side is what
Mhm.
I'm familiar
Yep,
with.
we would have to park away from that.
Yep, so that's what we were thinking. Basically, what I have here is that you're 10 by 38 miles and your reef is the 28 miles spanning out around your port, so.
So we would have to stay away from that and possibly the harbor because that is one of the things that will negatively impact our morale on the island.
Okay. Did you have another area that you were thinking would be possible for a ferry to pull up? I mean, granted, we would probably have to do a little bit of, not necessarily construction, but preparing it for a boat to pull up, but.
I'm not sure if we can get you that close to our island where there would just be a dock where the people walk off,
Mhm.
but I think we can definitely find a way where you could anchor
Mhm.
close to the island and just use the ferry like we said before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem. We don't want to, because we want this to remain something that you guys are happy with, as well as our tourists coming in and seeing kind of a
yep.
unspoiled island, so to speak. So we don't have any intention of pulling our ship actually up to the
Okay.
island. It would just be the ferry. Yep.
Perfect. Would you, what's that?
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna ask you the farmers market that you guys host on Saturdays. Is that every Saturday?
I believe so. It might just be in our season of macadamia nuts.
Okay.
My counsel would be able to tell me more about that, but why? What did you have in mind?
I was just going to ask if you had any, or like if you were against us possibly Saturday being our set day that we actually.
Okay, so you would.
Or maybe not necessarily each month, maybe just one of the 6 times that we stop.
Okay.
Having that one be one of the main attractions because I know a lot of our passengers look forward to like
I don't.
having a special day or whatever.
I wouldn't see that being a problem.
Okay, I just figured that could really benefit a lot of your farmers or harvesters that sell at the farmers market. So I thought that could just be a potential benefit for both of us.
So based off the numbers right now, we have 6 visits, 600 people, and then 1 day. Would you be willing to do 3 visits a year and make it 2 days? And then we could do 600 people day 1, 600 people day 2. That would really cut down on the number of times your boat is entering our area.
Okay.
But it's still the same number of days, same number of people that get to visit our island.
Yep. Okay, so would you be willing to do 4 visits once every 3 months? But still do 2 days?
4 visits. Could you cut it down to 500 people a day?
Yeah. Because I know that 1,100 number for our passengers wanting to leave the ship is a fairly high estimate, so
Okay.
I have a feeling it'll probably be 500, maybe even less each day. So that's a maximum for you guys.
Okay, so let me just take a look quick. Those numbers are sounding, I think I can get my council on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 visits. I think we can make that work.
Okay, so then my next question is, if we come to this agreement, what happens if your council doesn't agree? Would you say...
Would you be willing to renegotiate, or would you just...
Yeah, I'd be willing to renegotiate, so I think that the best option for both of us would be to keep this negotiation open, just
Okay.
for, like, the future, because I know we have, like, a few other options, but we were really looking forward to hopefully having you guys on
Yeah.
board with us.
I agree. I think that would be great, because I do think I can get my council on board, but you never know.
Yeah,
People are stubborn, people love their island.
definitely.
I think we'll keep that open. So just to recap, 4 visits, 500 people a day, 2-day trips, so for a total that'd be 2,000 people, 4,000 people?
Yep, 500 a day.
4,000 people.
Yep.
So I think we could really make that work, and then you would be able to park outside of our harbor
Correct.
here, and then we'll just use the vessels to get them in.
Yep, perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.